All right, welcome to LINL Radio Interviews. Tonight's a special night because we have our first repeat guest, and I'm really thrilled to speak to Thomas from Eden Has Fallen for the second time. And I'm really grateful and appreciative that, Thomas, that you take your time to come on back to the show here and talk about what you've been up to since we last spoke in August. And of course, we want to hear about the new single that's come out. So how you been, man? How's it going?
Been good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me back on. Had a really good time here last time. So looking forward to just sharing some updates, sharing information about the song, and just everything else that we got coming up.
Cool. I actually turned my nephew is a Christian and he's a heavy metal fan. So I actually turned him on to your previous song. After we did the interview, I was like, James, you got to check this out. So I got at least one person listening.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Of course, it's good stuff, man. So tell us about the new single, and whatever you want to say about it, the development of it, when it was released, where it's available, any of that. Love to hear it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we just released Defiance. It's our second official song. Just released a couple days ago, and it is one of the last songs that we are releasing from our kind of first set of music back when we were a full band. We're a two-piece now, and we contract out work for drums and other stuff. And then I'm a bassist, and my partner is a guitarist. So and I'm the vocalist. So between the two of us, we cover everything else. So this is the last song of our old material from when we were a full band. So it's kind of fun to bring that in and try to shift it into our changing style, while still keeping that kind of original sound that we were going for. It is. Oh, sorry.
No. I just wanted to interject just because we're talking about the style, and when I was listening before, it sounded maybe, I don't know, the guitar's a little bit more melodic or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what you're going for, but that's what I noticed. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. The direction we're moving into is more of like a melodic metalcore, and for you having listened to the song, you probably noticed it was more like hard rock, kind of like power ballad.
Sure.
So for us, this was almost like a cool blend of that almost 80s power ballad kind of sound with that melodic metalcore, where we have the harmony guitar licks. We have what we call a breakdown section, so to speak, more or less, with like a little melodic riff over it. But it's got a lot of cleans, has a powerful chorus, and it's a 6/8 song where it's very it moves a lot like a power ballad does.
You guys are very mathematical.
We are.
Yeah.
We try to keep our music fresh. Not to like share too much about other stuff, but working on a song now that shifts a little section, a little dropped solo section from 6/8 to 2/4. So it's still technically like 4/4. It's our same 4/4 riff, but we're playing it in a 6/8 2/4 fashion, rhythmically. So it feels kind of fresh.
I understand, all those concepts and everything like that of time, but like I personally, I don't think I'm able to write like that. So I really admire that you guys have that, that ability to change the time signature and everything. I remember trying to learn something from Rush, and it just made my head want to explode because they played this one part in like 4/4 time, and then they played it again in like 7/8 time. And I was like, well, what's going on here? Like, so, I didn't spend a lot of time playing their music because I don't even think I'd have brain cells left after that.
It's hard. That's probably one of my greater influences in that kind of proggy, changing time signature kind of realm of music. My dad got me into Rush back when I was in somewhere in middle school, I'm sure. So it's probably embedded in my brain somewhere where I'm coming up with a riff and I'm like, we should do this thing that I'm probably ripping off from Rush or Dream Theater or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, they got their ideas from somebody too. So, but that's really cool that you guys have that like vision to do that. I think that's pretty cool. What else has been going on with the band? And I know, like, when we left off in August, you guys were doing a couple of shows. I think you had like sort of a youth group thing going on, or so. I'm just curious how those things went.
Yeah, those were really good. That was our first official string of shows that both were promoting the first single, Hero's Heart, and then as well as getting us into the swing of using our new in-ear monitors, as well as the backing tracks for that. And with us being a two-piece band with fill-in members playing live. So it was really great experience to kind of get the practice in, get the repetition in, for that. And yeah, that youth group festival type thing was a lot of fun. Played with some artists that I've listened to for years now, so that was fun to be able to play and then talk to them and then see them play, and all
I remember you mentioning that. Cool. Well, I was just thinking, like, do you have any plans in, like, to flesh out the rest of the band with regular members, or are you guys going to proceed as is?
Yeah, we're looking for now just proceeding as is. It makes writing music a little bit easier, which you can see it kind of going either way. But there's less people to go through on decisions. And my guitarist and I work so well together that I come up with a riff idea and bring it to him, and sometimes we'll have an entire song fleshed out. And it's it's a rough demo, it's a rough idea. We refine it from there, but it's like we are happy with it. And usually, what happens is we finish a practice after with a new riff, and we both go, "This might be my new favorite song." So always encouraging, but
yeah, no, that's good, and it is true. I mean, the more folks that you have writing, the more, I guess, convoluted the process can get and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Just in my own experience, I'm just always curious about how people, how they come up with, how they create ideas together. Typically with my own music writing, it's like, most of it is fleshed out by me. So I'm very curious about when people work together, how do you manage that? Mm-hmm. So that's, I always want to hear about the writing process. So I've been playing, Hero's Heart. It just slipped my mind for a moment. I've been playing it on LINL Radio, and, it fits in nicely during regular programming and also on the heavy metal show and everything like that. What was I going to say next? Oh man, I'm sorry. I was going somewhere with that, and then it just ended.
You're all good.
I'm definitely digging the tune, and I'm looking forward to having the new tune, playing on LINL Radio, and it'll be attached right at the end of this interview. So that's that's something for anybody who's viewing, definitely or listening, excuse me. Stay tuned at the end of this interview, because we'll have the music that we're talking about, and I think that'd be a nice touch. So, but yeah, if that idea ever comes back to me, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I was going somewhere.
I can spitball off of your thought, and if it comes back to you, you can interject. Yeah. Defiance really is our kind of answer to like a radio rock song, where Hero's Heart is very thrashy, kind of almost speed metal-esque, which we really weren't going for, but as we were tracking, we're like, all right, I guess we're definitely pulling from that side of our influences. Mm-hmm. And so there were a few things in crafting Defiance where at first this wasn't the intention, but as we were going, a few of our decisions were crafted for the purpose of the answer being, we're doing this because it will make it easier to get on radio. For example, I know some stations only play songs under 5 minutes. So I was like, we are keeping it under 5 minutes. Like we were close to, I think we're at like we're at like 4:47 or 57 or something like that. So it's like, I was like, let's cut this, let's do this, and let's do that. So things like that. And I don't do a lot of screaming in the song. It's just like you were saying earlier, it's very, very melodic. And so it's something that it still showcases, our love for heavy and intricate riffs, while kind of holding them back so that we submit it somewhere. Hopefully there's a better chance of the radio host being like, yeah, we'll throw this on here,
Yeah. And maybe I'm not sure if I mentioned this last time, but if I can pass along a few contacts of places where you could submit it, I'll definitely send that to you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure. Give you some ideas. There's a station 94.3
Hmm.
FM. It's a pretty large Long Island station, and they do take submissions for their Fresh Blood show that's on Sunday nights, and unsigned bands and things like that. So that could be a real good and it has a strong signal and it has a big listenership. So it might be cool if you send something. If you do and you're gonna you get accepted, you got to let me know so I could tune in.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I could, no problem. I could send you the info, when we finish talking here.
Yeah, please do.
I'd like nothing better than to see you guys, get it out there and everything. And I think it's pretty cool that you're being conscious of, not just what you guys' needs are, but what the appeal would be on the other end of it. So, I mean, I kind of like, I kind of think in terms of 3.5 minute songs, and that's, every song that we have put together, some falls between 3.5 and 4 minutes because, people don't even really pay attention to things for that long today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we
were listening back. We had band practice last night, and my guitarist Isaiah, he was like, "Hey, have you heard the original demo you sent me when we started the band?" And I was like, "No, I haven't heard it in a while." And he showed it to me, and let me tell you, it was humbling to hear what it started with, to be like, yes, like this sounds so good now. And when I crafted a demo just to send to them, like instrumentals were way too long, and I was like, yeah, it's this song. It has what it needs and no more than what it needs.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you hope to develop that ability to listen to your work and then like what needs to be done with this now. How do I craft the idea that I originally have into something that's going to be appealing to other people? And that's it's almost like you have to step outside yourself and listen to it. And it's a great ability to have. Because you could do all your editing and all that kind of stuff like prior to trying to get it out there rather than getting feedback from different radio stations. Well, if you did this, if you did that, I mean, of course, on my station, I'm not worried about the length of a song. I have a song on there that's 8.5 minutes from this one group. And I don't know if you know, but I've been broadcasting live a little bit lately. And when I put that song on, I could go have a break. So I could go out for a bite to eat or whatever and come back and catch the last 30 seconds of the song. But when you get into more like mainstream radio, there are going to be those constraints, though. So yeah, so that's great. That's great that you guys are thinking like that. So you said you like sort of have the works for the next tune, and you said that's going to kind of close the book on the previous material, or this song closes the book on the material?
Yeah, this song more or less closes it, at least stylistically. We do have our next song coming out is, I guess, officially, and I'm thinking just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I guess technically, so I'm about to go on a little tangent here, so I apologize. But we're releasing singles leading up to our first album, and it's set to come out, and I'm stalling for time so I can get my spreadsheet up. It is slated to come out June 4th.
Oh, cool.
And it has the remaining material that even at the very least was started, the songs that were started with the other old members. So even if it was crafting a quick demo or them coming up with a chord progression or a little riff, that'll be the end. The songs on that will be the end of any contribution that they've had to the songs.
Sure.
So the next song we have coming out was written by our old guitarist, TJ, and then just kind of for a little bit of like background, our old drummer TJ, our guitarist TJ, and our old drummer Sam, they're in another band called Breakaway in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning them. Yep.
Yeah, so they just got way too busy. They got a new singer, and things started picking up. So they were like, "We can't commit to 2 projects." And I was like, "That's your main project. Like, I'm not offended if you need to step away." Sure. So we're still close. I'm wearing their shirt now.
yeah, you do a good job of promoting that band. Is there like a particular message that you're trying to get across with Defiance?
Yeah. So, and here's going to be another little tangent.
That's fine.
And I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be intentional with this with all of our songs because as a Christian band, I want to craft songs that a devout Christian hears and they can hear the biblical reference or the biblical meaning. But if a non-religious person is listening, and we write cool heavy metal music, so like I expect us to get people who like the music, even if they don't like the lyrics or don't care about the lyrics necessarily. I still want them to get something from it. So Defiance, and all our songs in general, I want to try to fit into three categories. Especially since we're going for more of a concept for everything past this first album, looking at each song as like a concept from the Bible. So they hopefully will fit three of these things. One is the exact literal biblical meaning. Defiance in this instance is from a song written from God's perspective, and it's about Israel openly defying continually throughout the Old Testament. Just they keep going to other things, idols and lusts and all this other stuff. And then they go, man, God, we're sorry, like help us. And then it's just a vicious cycle of back and forth. So that there's the literal meaning there of just like, it's literally, it's almost a narrative. Then there's more of a spiritual context where we ourselves, like me as a believer, knowing like I sin, I do things wrong, and just continually doing that. It may be the same sin issue that I need to work through. It might be new sin issues, but it's like the same thing over and over again, where it's like, you get to this point in your sin when you're like, what am I doing? And God's there like, what are you doing? Like, come back to me. Like you're running. Like this is an exact quote from the chorus of the song, but you're running with the enemy. Like, what are you doing? Like, come running back to me. So those are like the two, I guess, like Christian kind of aspects of the song, and what I want to do with our music. And then the more just like personal application, it can be either the listener looking at themselves from the perspective, that God's in, where it's like they're seeing someone who is just continually doing what they're not supposed to be doing. They're continually, maybe it's over drinking or it's a drug problem. And it's like, it's a parent saying this, thinking this about their kid, where it's like, you keep doing this. You keep going against what you need to be doing. Like, we're trying to help you, but you're running away. Or from this other perspective where you yourself or me, myself, I'm going through just something and I know that it's wrong. So it doesn't have to have that kind of spiritual context with it. It's more of just like personal application.
Cool. I like that. It's, it sounds like there's like different layers of meaning, and depending on where the listener's perspective comes from, that's what they can take from it. Someone like myself who, I'm in my Bible just about every day. That's probably the first thing that I would gravitate towards. But if someone who, isn't studying or whatever, they may just gravitate towards the more, I don't know, I guess secular or human meaning behind it or whatever and stuff. And, everyone needs a portal or a pathway, so, your music could do that for folks, and just awaken that interest a little bit. And, you'd be like sort of a stealth ninja for the Lord. Get them into this music, but then, at the same time, getting them into the word. So I think that's pretty awesome. Cool, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of the general idea or template. I'm a very like structured, type A, type 1 person, where I'm like, it helps me to write music if I have almost like a checklist, like it's going to be about this and I need to fit into this context and this and this. So that really is my goal with our music from here on out. Past the stuff that was pre-written, is to just really be able to have that 3-part context.
Awesome. That's awesome. How were your holidays?
They were really good. Yeah. It was my first Christmas married, so that was fun. We
oh wow, well, look at that.
Spend the holidays with both families. My sister we alternate holidays with family, and so this year was Christmas with the in-laws, and so my sister works at a hospital, so my whole family did Christmas Eve, so we were still able to do Christmas with them and then Christmas on Christmas with her family. So so good.
Yeah, awesome. That's great stuff. I'm trying to think of what else I have on my mind for you. So the availability of the song, it's on streaming platforms and all that kind of thing.
Yep, it should be on basically everything. Yeah, I use DistroKid, and so it has all the little icons, 3 rows of them or whatever. So I'm sure if you listen on something, I'm sure it's there.
Yeah, sure. You know, and I wanted to maybe when you have the full album come out, you know, maybe keep Lionel Radio in mind for like an album listening party or something like that.
That'd be awesome.
I don't, you know, and I would love to do that. But I just also want to make this. Do you guys do Bandcamp at all, or?
We haven't been, but it's something that I've been looking into because I do all our business marketing kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I've been looking into using that as a good good tool.
Yeah, the one thing that I thought was really cool about it, another band that's played on Lionel, Frequency Overload, they did a album listening on Bandcamp, and it's like interactive. So like, you know, whoever was listening could comment, I like this song or whatever, you know, it came out great, whatever. So it was kind of like a group experience, you know, and I was participating in it too. So I was like, that's really cool. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's probably better than anything I can offer right now.
Yeah.
But you know, you guys could even do both, you know. So but I just wanted to suggest that because I thought, wow, you know, that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Having people communicate about it in real time while they're listening. So yeah, so keep that in mind, you know.
Definitely will.
Yeah, so you got to send me the song so I can play it. You know, I've been looking forward to that. And anything new that comes about, you know, from the group. Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask too. Any more cease and desist letters come your way?
Oh man, I'm trying to think what would have happened last. I think we're finally through it all. I went ahead. I've got the old After Eden stuff gone out of everything now, and I even deleted my the Google account and everything. So it's
you should
be everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, for those, if anyone's watching or listening and they didn't hear the previous interview, but there was a little bit of conflict about the original name of Thomas's group. So we were talking about that last time, and that was one thing I was wondering about, if that was still being pursued legally or anything.
Luckily not, but you never know. Never know, these things might pop back up.
Yeah, sure. Well, Thomas, it's great having you here again, and you know, I appreciate you taking the time and the energy and the effort and everything. You know, like I said, you're always welcome. Something comes up. I have been doing live broadcasts, and I'm looking into taking live phone calls during the show. So that, you know, it would be great to have you call in sometime. You know, maybe during the metal show or something like that. But I'm still, the wheels are turning. I'm still trying to figure out the best and cost-effective way of doing that. But yeah, so if you wouldn't mind just hanging out for a minute after I just end the recording here. And, you know, like I said, for those of you that are watching, we always appreciate you. And for those of you that are listening on the radio, stay tuned, because we're going to have some great music from Eden Has Fallen, and we're going to have Defiance coming right up. All right. Thanks again, Thomas. And we will speak soon. Okay.
Thank you.